Okay, so this is an update story to a major incident or case, I guess you could say, that occurred back in 2018. If you don't know who this is Travis Reinking. He is the one that was responsible for committing what I deem to be a domestic terroristic act at that Waffle House down south. I forgot what state it was, back in 2018, in which he killed a a good amount of people. But thankfully there was this black man, and his name escapes me right now, who jumped into action, and he was able to save the rest of the people before he took all of them out. He risked his life saving those people. He even got some injuries himself, and he was immediately deemed a hero. As a matter of fact, I remember the year that Black Panther came out, because that was the same year. He went to the MTV Movie Awards, and Chadwick Boseman had won the award for Best Hero. And Chadwick Boseman got up there, gave his speech, and he thanked some people, but he did something that rarely I have seen anyone else do, and that was allow that man to come on stage, and he gave him his award. Like, that's probably one of the best things that probably happened for that man ever in his life, was to have an individual like Chadwick Boseman, who was in the biggest movie that came out that year, in my opinion, give him his award in front of the world, because he said, like, I only played a hero, you are an actual real life hero. It's just one of those great things about Chadwick Boseman. You know, it's like he's definitely still very much missed in the world. But anyway, this guy, Travis Reinking, he was found guilty on every single count that he was charged with. We don't know, of course, what his sentencing is going to be as of yet, but he was found guilty on every single charge that he was hit with. So 9 times out of 10, he most likely will be going to jail for the rest of his life. I don't know if there's a capital punishment down where he committed the act, but at least we know, at least I believe, that life imprisonment with hopefully the possibility of parole is definitely in his future. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the article and see what other details they have. A jury found Travis Reinking guilty of all 16 counts in the April 2018 shooting at the Waffle House in Antioch, Tennessee, that left 4 people dead, according to a live video feed provided by CNN affiliate WSMV. First off, I didn't even know that Travis Reinking was even on trial. They kept this very hush-hush. Among the charges were 4 counts of premeditated first-degree murder and 4 first-degree felony murder counts. Oh, yeah, I think it's safe to say, just on those alone, he's most likely getting life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, hopefully. A sentencing hearing will be held Saturday at 9 a.m. local time, Davidson County Criminal Court. Judge Mark Fishburne said after the jury read the verdict. Reinking arrived at a Waffle House in Antioch, southeast of Nashville, on April 22nd, 2018. Wearing nothing but a green jacket, according to Metro Nashville police. He got out of his pickup wielding an assault-type rifle and fatally shot 2 people outside the Waffle House, police said. Reinking then went into the diner and continued firing, killing 2 more people. The shooting ended when customer James Shaw Jr., that's his name, who had been sitting with a friend at the restaurant counter, wrestled the weapon away from the gunman, who fled on foot. Police launched a manhunt shortly after Reinking fled the restaurant naked. He was taken into custody about 35 hours later when a woman at a construction site in Antioch spotted him in the woods. Reinking was initially held on a $2 million bond, but angry calls flooded the district attorney's office and judge's office. His bond was later revoked by a Tennessee judge. The 4 people who were killed were all under 30 years old. The 2 fatally shot outside of the restaurant were Waffle House employee Taurean C. Sanderlin and customer Joe R. Perez. Inside, the gunman killed 2 more people, 23-year-old Aquila Da Silva, a student pursuing a musical engineering career, and 21-year-old DeEbony Groves, a college senior majoring in social work, who had been out with her sorority sisters that night. CNN has reached out to the Office of the District Attorney General Nashville Davidson County and Reinking's attorney, Paul Bruno, for comment, but has not immediately heard back. So I'm actually recording this video on Saturday, January 5th, which apparently is the day that they said that he's getting sentenced, and they said the sentencing is happening at 9 a.m. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this video on pause because it is actually currently 7:06 my local time, and then I'm going to wait until they give the sentencing, and then I'm gonna come back and insert what his sentencing will be. That's pretty quick because usually like they're sentencing him very quickly, and on a Saturday at that. Like they're trying to get this out the way, because usually, you know, when it comes to sentencing, they wait a couple weeks, maybe a month or so before they actually do that. But they found him guilty and they're sentencing him all within the same week. So I'm going to put this on pause, and then I'm going to come back a little bit later once we find out what the sentencing is, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all, I'm back. It has been a few hours since the first part that y'all just heard, and I told y'all I would come back with the update on his sentencing. Now this is the update. Travis Reinking has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And he only had two options on the table. He had life in sentence with the possibility of parole after staying in prison for 51 years, which means he would have been eligible to get out when he was in his 70s, because he's in his 20s now. I believe he's in his 20s. And the other one is the one he got, which was life in prison without the possibility of parole. And honestly, this is the one that I wanted, and this is the one that was received. And in case y'all are unaware, the 4 people that died, all of them were, I guess you can say they were all non-white. 3 of them were black, and 1 was, I want to say, Hispanic. It would throw them into the category of Hispanic. So, yeah. So this was definitely, you know, justice served. Y'all let me know what y'all think.